So it happened. If you told me a month ago that I would be making this video, I honestly wouldn't have believed you. I would have said I just didn't have the skills or the patience to make it this far and I wasn't ready. And yet here I am. Welcome back to another video, guys, but really I should be saying welcome back to the final Road to Legend video. I took a lot of time over the last few months, even the last year really, to actually try and practice and get better at PvP and to really get into it. And instead of making videos, I decided to watch more content on PvP in order to try and build my knowledge further. But before we get into the video, I would like to thank some people. First, the creators I watched along the way. This includes, and it's not limited to, Henry, It's Axon, Rise to the Occasion, and even other creators such as Seahawks Fan 2017. These creators and their videos have truly helped me elevate my skills, and I'm beyond grateful for their commitment to this game and its community. Secondly, I would like to thank my close community. Shout out to you, AJ, for always believing in me. I would not have made it without your support. P.S. Thank you, Jared, for the Zamazenta. Really helped. But thirdly, I need to give a lot of credit to Henry's Discord server and community. The amount of experience I gained from seeing their battles, seeing their teams and practicing against them, learning from them in general, has really pushed me to where I am now, and I cannot thank everyone enough. You are all truly amazing, and you've all truly helped me on this journey. That being said, let's jump into the video. But first, let's do a team analysis. First up is our lead, Zamazenta Crown Shield form. This mon has a ridiculous stat product and many pros to using it. Firstly, it is extremely tanky and can take various hits extremely well. Secondly, it has great coverage with its access to Ice Fang as a fast move, as well as its charge moves of Behemoth Bash and Close Combat. This coverage allows for it to hit a lot of mons for heavy neutral damage or even super effective hits. It also has quite decent pacing, alongside a great typing, Fighting Steel, which resists Steel and is neutral to Fairy and resists Dragon, all very good qualities. And it also has decent shield pressure too, such as Close Combat. It's a very good move for grabbing shields from neutral targets to set up a shield advantage for my backline. There are some cons to using it, however. It is still hard-walled by Ho-Oh, which was a very common Master League Pokemon for me last season. And its fast move pressure, although nice into some mons, it is lacking into others, such as opposing Crown forms or Kyogre or Urshifu Rapid Strike and other ones. But overall, this mon was a great lead with many good matchups. In a lot of scenarios, it was able to gain a shield advantage, which was my main goal, and it was able to perfectly set up my back two mons because they loved being up a shield. Anyway, let's move on to my second pick, Lunala. Second up, we have Lunala. Lunala has a ton of pros, and some of them you honestly wouldn't expect at first glance. It is surprisingly tanky, able to beat Best Buddy Zacian Crown in the zero shield scenario entirely through neutral damage, and that's an insane feat. We're talking about Zacian Crowned. Anyway, it also has amazing coverage into the Master League meta last season. Ghost was, and I'm sure it still will be, extremely valuable as it wasn't resisted by any major meta mons and allowed for incredible neutral play. It also had Moonblast, allowing it to threaten mons such as Palkia Origin or the Curums with a super effective attack that would either most likely KO or get it a shield. Now it had really good pacing too, Shadow Claw for the win, allowing it to outpace mons such as Zacian, Zamazenta, Ho-Oh, and even Palkia to Moonblast before Palkia made a Spatial Rend, as well as others. Overall, a very super flexible mon. In my experience using it, it honestly didn't have many cons, but there were a couple. One, some matchups like against Black Kyurem, its double weakness to Ghost stood out, as well as against the not common Yveltal or Single Strike Urshifu, but I barely saw those. I think I saw maybe one of each of those on my climb. And two, it kind of like to bait move. 55 energy for Shadow Ball is great, but sometimes it wished for a slightly cheaper move, but that's really not a problem. Shadow Ball and Moonblast were great moves on it. Overall, Lunala was an extremely flexible mon and put a lot of the heavy lifting on its back for this team. It's surprisingly bulky and allowed me to make moves I didn't think I'd make, or farm down mons that I thought would have farmed me down first. I utilized it mainly as my team's main safe swap, but I didn't solely use it for that purpose. Overall, an amazing asset to my team. Now onto the final team member, Kyurem Black. Kyurem Black was honestly my favourite team member I used, although the other two I still love as well. Kyurem Black has a ton of pros, and I'll try my best to list them all. Firstly, it is insanely flexible. With the coverage of Fusion Bolt and Free Shock, this coverage is also known as Bolt Beam, it is unresisted by every single Pokemon in the game, not named Magnezone. As well as that, it also has amazing pacing with Shadow Claw, such as 6656 to Fusion Bolt, which is insanely deadly. As well as, if it's up a shield or up energy, it is truly a monster, which I think is fitting. And it also has insane shield pressure. You want to shield at least once against Kyurem Black. Overall, I believe Kyurem Black's vast amount of pros easily outweighs cons. That being said, there are some to mention. First, its typing. Although good offensively, Ice Dragon is not a great defensive typing. It's weak to Steel, Fairy, Fighting Rock Dragon, has a fire neutrality. Not great. It also has not really good matchups into the Crown forms, although shield and or energy advantage can leverage that a bit. If the shields are up, it could be a bit clunky. Rhyperior matchup, for example, is a big one. You kind of want shields down for that. So you really need shields down overall for Kyurem Black. It doesn't really have good bulk as well. It's not bad, but because of its typing, you really need shields. Overall, Kyurem Black was an essential member to the team. Its insane coverage, damage, pacing, and flexibility made it an absolute monster to deal with for my opponents. I also ran Best Buddy on him to ensure cap ties over opposing Kyurems. Now that we're done with the team analysis, let's jump into the videos. I want to highlight kind of my journey and my progression overall. So let's start with one of the first battles with the team. Oh, and before I go, just one thing before we jump into the battles. I just wanted to say thank you if you're watching, and I really hope you enjoyed that intro because I put in a lot of effort. But I just wanted to quickly say that I actually started this team, instead of Kyurem Black, I had Dawn Wings, but after climbing a bit, some members of Home Slice Henry's community suggested I swap it for Kyurem Black, so that's where we start. This is the first battle of me using this team, the team I hit Legend with. We start off this first match with the team with Zamazenta into Palkia. That's actually a really good lead. The opponent safe swaps into a Shadow Rhyperior. Now, this is interesting because I don't really want to switch out. Zamazenta has the best matchup into Rhyperior, so my goal was to get it quite low and then switch in my Lunala, shield one move and farm it down, but they go for a breaking swipe, so I decide they're going to make a Rock Wrecker. I don't really want to eat that, so I'll KO them with a Shadow Ball. The opponent comes back in with a Palkia. Now what's interesting here is that this is just an Aqua Tail. I don't have to respect that. I actually make the Moonblast, as I said in the intro. I am able to outpace, but they actually catch it on the Ho-Oh. That's really unfortunate, so I'm not really used to the timings and that on these mons, but anyway, I actually make a catch back with my Zamazenta and I'm able to catch the Sacred Fire, which is great, as now I can just shield once, farm up, and just KO. They actually send back in their Palkia. I just go for the Free Shock. This will KO them, but they're still, I think it was either 2 or 3 away from their next move, and I was too close to the Fusion Bolt. So there we go, GG's the opponent. After that battle, I really realised the power of Black Kyurem, because with Dawn Wings, I don't think that battle would have been a win. For this next battle, I've decided to just slow down the battles a bit because I actually want to give some good commentary. Now, for this lead, we lead Zamazenta into Shadow Rhyperior. I do want to see this on the lead, preferably. However, Shadow Rhyperior is a bit tricky. I can definitely force a shield and get it quite low, but this Rhyperior will leave with a bunch of energy. Now, what I would usually do later is actually just farm it as much as possible, then send in Lunala. Here, I send him a Lunala early. I actually shield a Breaking Swipe, which is not good. They get the debuff, and they send in Ho-Oh. So this is not looking great. The decent thing is, though, is that they'll have to throw early. If not, I'll make this other Shadow Ball, which will put them quite low, which will actually put them in like Ice Fang farm down range. They farm up and they go for a move here, but they can never have back-to-back moves, so I can just get an energy advantage on Black Kyurem. Now, they send back in their Rhyperior here, which is annoying because I will have to shield. This could be a Rock Wreck or a Breaking Swipe. It's a Breaking Swipe, but, you know, I still have to shield it. And they send in Palkia. I can force their final shield with the Fusion Bolt, because if they no-shield that, then I could go for another Fusion Bolt and get the shield. Then I can pivot into my Zamazenta, and this forces their energy, as I would make a close combat, and that would do an insane amount of damage to them. But in hindsight, I actually think they should have let my Zamazenta get to a move, because they would have won. But it actually ended up being a tie, which was unfortunate. But if they had let my close combat go through, they could have farmed my Zamazenta down, and they probably would have made another move. So, you know, but that analysis is coming from experience as well. From here on out in this video, you're actually going to notice a bit of a difference in the quality of my audio, at least I hope so. I actually bought a wireless microphone recently, and it's actually been really good. So I'm going to use it for this. So our next match here, we lead Zamazenta into non-Shadow Rhyperior. This is actually a pretty good lead. They try and catch onto Ho-Oh, but I keep my energy, switch into Black Kyurem. I was a bit slow on the counter switch, but it's okay. The good thing about the non-Shadow Rhyperior is that I can survive the Mud Slaps and the Rock Wreckers, whereas with the Shadow Rhyperior, Zamazenta takes a lot more damage from the Mud Slaps and even the Rock Wreckers, even though they're double resisted. So it's actually, you would need to double shield. Oh no, sorry, if you shield once, you'd get farmed down. Anyway, they send in their Rhyperior, I don't bait, I just go for the Freeze Shock. They send back in their Palkia, I just full send the Freeze Shock here, and they actually no-shield it, so that basically seals their fate. Because right now, I can just tank this Aqua Tail, farm down with Lunala, they have their Ho-Oh in the back, and right now, they do make a move, but I survive both moves. So Brave Bird, oh, excuse me, I do not. See, this shows how little, how long it's been. But because of the Brave Bird lowering their defense, I can just easily farm them down there. So GG's to that opponent. I just want to quickly mention before this next analysis that it has been a few months since I recorded anything for this, and I'm sorry about that. My life kind of got carried away for a bit, but I'm here to finish it, and I'm motivated to finish it. So I'm going to try my best to do a good analysis, even though it's been a few months since using this team. So this battle we lead into Kyogre. That's a pretty bad lead for Zamazenta, so I safe swap into Lunala. They actually take a while to respond and send in their own Shadow Rhyperior, and it's a very interesting response because Shadow Rhyperior would do pretty good into my Zamazenta, and also my Black Kyurem in the back does not want to see this, so I'm pretty happy to see it here. It farms me down, but I got it low and got rid of all its shields, so I can send in Zamazenta. Unless they're running a weird moveset like Superpower, I basically take no damage from Rock Wreck or Breaking Swipe, so I can farm down here. The second they send in Kyogre, I just pivot into my Black Kyurem because I don't want them to get any farm. And with the upper shield with Black Kyurem, I basically beat everything in the game. Not named like Zacian, maybe Zamazenta as well. Either way, I can almost one-shot that Black Kyurem with, I was going to say Fusion Bolt, with Freeze Shock, and then when the Kyogre comes back in, I can hit it with the Fusion Bolt, and that ends that game. So GG's. That just really highlights like just how strong Black Kyurem is up a shield. That was one of the biggest things that I had to utilize. If my Black Kyurem was up a shield, I needed to protect it because it was the main asset. Okay, so we're hopping into another match here. I just want to also say that I have about 60 videos or something, or like battles saved. I'm probably not going to show all of them though. This is a very interesting one because they start with Urshifu Rapid Strike. This is a core breaker for my team. It beats both Zamazenta and Kyurem Black. And they make a huge error too. When I safe swap into Lunala, they actually stay in and throw off the Aqua Jet, which was a massive mistake on their part. They needed to respond immediately because now my Lunala's just got too much energy, and this Zacian, while yes I shield the Behemoth Blade, they have to shield the Shadow Ball, and even when they they didn't have to, because if they do like they did, now there's a second one coming, so they'd have to double shield or go down. And even if they did double shield, I'm pretty sure Lunala would have farmed down because of how tanky it is. Now here, Ho-Oh comes in, and I've immediately sent in Zamazenta. Why? Well, I didn't know what they had in the back, but I needed to get rid of Zamazenta. I knew that it had nothing to do against Urshifu Rapid Strike, so I needed all hope needed to be put on my Black Huron. Here they go for Brave Bird. I have to shield that, obviously, because it'll do a ton of damage. Their counters are going to add up, but I have Fusion Bolt. They need a shield, and what I have to do here is switch and catch on my Lunala, which is what I do here. Dynamic Punch does nothing, and because of how little damage the counters do, I actually make a Shadow Ball, which knocks out this Urshifu. Their Ho-Oh comes in, gets one Incinerate, but I have the Fusion Bolt loaded, and look, they didn't have a move, but even if they did, I get the KO there. So that was a great game. GG's to that opponent. I was core broken. They were almost hard counted, and I still managed to recover. Okay, so we're hopping into this game here, leading Zamazenta into Zygarde. This is actually a pretty good lead, as I have Ice Fang as my fast move, and I resist the Dragon Tail. But this game, even though it starts out really well, is a really good example as to why bad leads and good leads don't mean everything. Here I can easily survive the Earthquake and can farm down, which I do, and they send in, like most teams have a Ho-Oh, so I immediately switch into Lunala, which is good. This is exactly how I want to play this now. I go for a Shadow Ball here, they can let it go, or shield, they decide to let it go. Here, I decide to no-shield my Lunala. This is probably a misplay, as they now get to farm me down here. I probably should have shielded and tried to farm up a bunch. And I do another error here. I'm like, well, if I send in Zamazenta, I can force a shield from them with this Behemoth Blade, but this doesn't do anything, because now they get to farm me down and basically leave with 100 energy against my Black Huron, meaning they have a move here. That Shadow Claw did not KO them, and if they get the debuff, which they did, I have no way of removing this debuff, and in the back is Zacian, which, to be fair, I still may have lost even if I played this a bit better, but I need 3 Fusion Bolts here to win. They need 2 back-to-back close combats, and they easily outpace me there. So GG's to that opponent. Misplays from me. So just that game just shows, even with good leads, I was still losing games. And it also shows that even if you get bad leads, you need to still focus, because you can easily win, just like the game before this one. So we start this game with a pretty weird lead, Giratina Origin into my Zamazenta. This is a decent lead because we have Ice Fang and we've just got a really good stat product, but they actually outpace to the second Shadow Ball. But interestingly, they swap out. They come in with Duskmane Necrozma, which is a Pokemon I actually didn't see much of that during this season. I go for the close combat to chip it, and actually does quite a lot of damage. And in doing so, I respond with my own Lunala. They actually go for an Iron Head there, but I needed a shield regardless, because the Dark Pulse would have won it KO. They come in with Giratina, and I just go straight for the Shadow Ball, and they would not get the farm down, so they have to go for a move. I just let them KO my Lunala here. I can come in with my Black Huron like I did to get an energy head start. They have Zacian in the back. This looks bad, but because I have a shield and because of my energy advantage, I can actually just shield and get to another move here easily. KO the Zacian, and when they send back in their Giratina, I can just pivot into my Zamazenta, and this forces them to throw energy because I'd farm down with Ice Fang. Then I can come back in with Black Huron and knock them out with a few Shadow Claws. So GG's to that opponent. And with this battle won, we actually do get a 4 and 5 set, and we reached Expert. And when I reached Expert this time, this was actually the second ever time I reached Expert. So Legend, here we come. Okay, so we start off this next battle with Zamazenta into Lunala. This is not a really good lead. I safe swap into Black Huron actually, and they respond with Rhyperior. The reason why I go into Black Huron is if I went to Lunala, I'd just be down energy, so that's bad. So I send in Black Huron, and now that they responded with Rhyperior, I can force a shield with Freeze Shock like I did. They actually don't KO me with Breaking Swipe there, so I can go for a Fusion Bolt here, just get some chip damage. Then I can come back in with Zamazenta, and I can just farm them down. Unless they're running a weird moveset, as I said before, like Superpower Earthquake, I can basically tank anything they throw. They throw another move here, which is probably going to be a Breaking Swipe again. They got one debuff, but not the second. They can send back in Lunala here. Honestly, the whole point of me using Zamazenta right now is just to get some chip damage and basically force its energy here, otherwise it'll make another Behemoth Bash. Honestly, even if I made another Behemoth Bash, it wouldn't have done much. So I send in Lunala, and they actually respond with their Palkia Origin that was in the back. This is not terrible for me because I have Moonblast. They do have to respect. They do have to respect it because that would one hit them. And now because I'm up 2 shields, I can win this game here by double shielding, farming up a bunch of energy, then going for Shadow Ball, because now I'll be able to outpace the Lunala to a Shadow Ball, which I do here, and I barely survive their Shadow Claw fast moves to knock them out and get the victory. Honestly, that probably was only doable because I had the Hundo Lunala. Maybe not, but GG's to that opponent. Alrighty, so we hop into this next match. We've got Zamazenta into Shadow Rhyperior. Now, as I said before, this is a bit of a tricky lead. Like, it's not the worst lead, but it's not amazing either, because you'll see here, like, we get to throw a move here, so obviously we'll be up a shield, which is good. But because of the amount of Mud Slaps, the amount of damage they do in Mud Slap, I actually don't make a Behemoth Bash there. Whereas if that was the non-Shadow Rhyperior, I would make the Behemoth Bash. So it's a very positive lead for Zamazenta into regular Rhyperior. Shadow is not. I shielded up the Breaking Swipe, which is unfortunate because I have to eat a Rock Wrecker there. They come in with Landorus Therian. Now, because they didn't get the debuff with Breaking Swipe, the Shadow Ball actually does quite a lot of damage. Here I send in my Black Kyurem and they respond with Urshifu Rapid Strike. Now, this is not great, but because I have Fusion Bolt, I actually outpace and will be able to first grab a shield with the first Fusion Bolt and then grab a shield with the next Fusion Bolt. I just farm up, I think, an extra Shadow Claw there. I don't know why. I think it's to outpace the Landorus. That's why. So now I can actually outpace the Landorus, make it to the Fusion Bolt. And even though this is single resisted, it'll still be enough to KO. So GG's to that opponent. Alright, our next battle is Zamazenta into Zacian. Now this is another interesting lead for Zamazenta. It's not a full loss, but it's not a great lead because their close combats are super effective, whereas ours are neutral because of the fairy subtyping on the Zacian. But we are actually able to catch the close combat there because the Zacian was waiting for us to throw and then it would throw its move. So they actually made a mistake by under-tapping that close combat. And even, as you can see there, that Behemoth Blade didn't even KO us, and they switched in Palkia, and we were actually able to make a Moonblast and force a shield. That's what I'm talking about with how tanky Lunala is. Like, no one really expects it to be able to tank as much damage as it does, and yet it just stands in the way of many Pokemon, even with their strong moves like Behemoth Blade from Zacian. Once Lunala goes down, I bring in Zamazenta, because Zamazenta has a pretty decent matchup into Palkia. Now, farm up a lot of energy. They actually switch back in their Zacian, which I just KO because they were about to get to another move. And also, I think I'm at the back-to-back, so whatever they throw in here has to eat one of my moves. It's actually an Urshifu, and I'm pretty sure that is it's a Rapid Strike. That was the most common one, not last season, the season before. This was, I'll have to double-check the number. I don't know what season it was. It was the one before the changes to like Dragon Breath and Dragon Tail. You'll see. So this is like the heavy damage Dragon Breath, not the energy gaining one. But they send back in Palkia. I got a shield with the first Fusion Bolt, and the second Fusion Bolt will KO. They have 1 health left on the Urshifu, so a Shadow Claw will KO them there. So GG's that opponent. So this here is another tricky lead. We're leading Zamazenta into another Urshifu Rapid Strike. We safe swap into Lunala, and they actually straight away send in Zacian. But here's where Hundo Lunala just shows off how tanky it is. See, we threw a Shadow Ball there, get it quite low. But this Behemoth Blade won't even KO. So we actually make a second Shadow Ball, which will force Switch Advantage or Shield Advantage, which is just perfect. They opt for Switch Advantage, and they KO our Lunala. Here it's a bit tricky. We'll send in the Zamazenta to just tank the energy, because Zamazenta's really tanky. Close combat there does quite a lot of damage, but we're able to farm down here. I just straight away switch into Black Kyurem, because Zamazenta will just get farmed down. And we can actually do some heavy damage with Fusion Bolt. Well, actually, we'd want it KO if they didn't shield it. They send in Eternatus at the end. It was actually a Poison Jab Eternatus. We can one-hit KO that with Free Shock, and then all is left is the Urshifu. Will they be able to farm us down before we make the close combat? The answer is no. So we get the move, and then secure the win. So there we go. Alright, in our next match, we lead Zamazenta into White Kyurem. Now, this is a good lead for Zamazenta, especially when the Kyurem's on Ice Fang. and this is because nowadays Kieran White runs Dragon Breath because of the pacing, but this was before that change, so it's on Ice Fang. Go for the Behemoth Bash, and they'd actually make a Fusion Flare. I think they'd outpace us, so we send in Lunala, shield up the move. It was just a Fusion Flare, but still a decent shield, and they send in Zacian. Now here's the good thing again. I've got a ton of energy, so I can just spam out these Shadow Balls, and I think even if they made a Behemoth Blade there, I'd still somehow survive, which is just nuts. They're able to get a lot of energy, but we've gotten rid of both their shields, which is great. I can come in with Zamazenta here and force them to throw their energy, otherwise I'd make a move. They go for close combat, I come in with Black Kyurem, and they actually send in Ho-Oh. Now this is interesting because they don't have any shields, so there's nothing they can do to shield that Fusion Bolt. They go for probably a Sacred Fire here. Now they really want a debuff and they don't get it, which is amazing for me. So I can just farm them down, and whatever comes in next I can either Freeze Shock it or Fusion Bolt it. If it's White Kyurem, which it is, I can go for the Freeze Shock after a Shadow Claw. This will KO them, and then their last Pokemon is the Zacian, which is on basically 1 HP, but I make the Fusion Bolt, so I may as well throw it. So there we go, GG's. Alright, so we've got another Shadow Rhyperior lead. As I said, this is tricky because it's not a bad lead, but it's not a good lead either. They go for a move here, so I just no-shield it. They're actually on Superpower. But the good thing is that it doesn't KO, so we're actually able to make this Behemoth Bash. So this will basically guarantee a shield unless they wanted to give up Switch. And also, the good thing about Superpower for us is that it not only lowers their defense, it lowers their attack as well. So they're running Breaking Swipe Superpower, so those Breaking Swipes are going to do nothing. Debuffs will not be good, but they didn't get the first one, they got the second one, so that's not bad. And they send in Ho-Oh. And honestly, even a debuff Shadow Ball still does like an okay amount of damage, but I don't know, there was really no point in me throwing that Shadow Ball there, unless I had to desync the clocks. I'm not too sure. Anyway, go for the Freeze Shock there and get their second shield. All I have to do here is just shield this, whatever it is, Crunch, doesn't matter, Bulldoze, yep, why not, and overfarm just slightly to throw on good timing. Throw this Freeze Shock and this will 100% KO the 100% Zygarde. They send back in the Ho-Oh, we can just shield, doesn't matter what it is, even if it's Sacred Fire, even if it debuffs, we get the Fusion Bolt, and even if that was debuff, which it's not, it would still KO them. So GG's to this opponent here. Alright, so here we've got another Giratina Origin lead. They actually immediately send in their own Zamazenta. Now, for me, if I led my Zamazenta and a Lunala, it'd feel like not a great matchup, but here, because they're one Ice Fang ahead, there's actually kind of a tricky matchup. I go for the Shadow Ball here, does a decent amount of damage, but they're actually going to outpace to the Behemoth Bash, and if I no-shield, which I do here, I'll actually get farmed down before I get to the next Shadow Ball, which is interesting. I decide to come in with my own Zamazenta again to basically force their energy here, because I don't want to use any shields. They send in their Zacian, but interestingly, they're not going to be able to farm me down before I make 2 close combats here, so they're going to have to give up a shield. So close combat number 1 lands, close combat number 2 gets the shield, and I send in Black Kyurem. Here they've got a lot of energy, so obviously I have to shield. The first move, doesn't matter what it is, Behemoth Blade, shielded. And here I literally just have to farm them down. I know they'll make another move, but that's okay, because I need all the energy I can get for their backline. They go for close combat, I'm able to KO them. Now they send in Giratina. I can go for Freeze Shock here, no baits. If they no shield, which they do, I can just one Shadow Claw, farm them down. And whatever they had in the back did not want to deal with Black Kyurem. I'm not sure what it would have been, but they did not want to deal with it. So GG's to that opponent. And I just realised watching that back that what they had in back was the Zamazenta with no HP. So GG's to that opponent. This match here is just a great example of just how well-rounded my team was, at least how I felt. We lead into Landorus Therian, so our Ice Fangs are just doing a great amount of damage. They send in Zacian and I immediately respond to Lunala because I know exactly how this matchup plays out. I can shield one move here, and they will probably most likely want to shield my Shadow Ball, and if they don't, then I just make another one. Here I make this Shadow Ball and CMP tie. Probably dumb that I CMP. Actually, it's not dumb. That was on purpose, sorry, because here I survived the Behemoth Blade, and I actually KO with the Shadow Ball, and they just give up. So they clearly didn't know that matchup, but that just shows how just insanely bulky Lunala is and how good the coverage is in Zamazenta. It just really showcases qualities on this team. Now you notice I have an image up here of my elo at 2948. This is just one of the many times this season, especially in the last few days, that I actually almost reached legend and then fell back down. So I reached 2948 there and then dropped, I think. I reached 2960 at one point and dropped 2970, I think even 2980. It was very brutal, but eventually I made it to, I think, 2968. And I needed a 3-5 to have a good chance of making it to legend, or a 4-1 would guarantee it. So I don't want to keep you all here for ages, so I'm going to just jump into the final set with this team and just show you what I can do and how great this team was. And I'm just so proud that I was actually able to make this goal happen. Anyway, let's jump into it. Alright, so this is battle number 1 of my final set towards legend. So we lead Zamazenta into Shadow Hyperia. This is a typical lead for my team, so I kind of know how to deal with it. Still not a great lead, but I know what to do. I can go for the Behemoth Blade, Behemoth Bash here, guarantees a shield, and then basically I just get some chip damage, let them farm me down, come in with Lunala, and Lunala's job is just to absorb their damage. They actually go for the Rock Wrecker there, which is annoying. They do not make another move, which is great, so then I can farm them down and leave with some energy. They actually have a Kyogre here, and this is very nice for me. I throw the Shadow Ball, and then I pivot into my Black Kyurem. And they respond with their own Black Kyurem. Now, in normal circumstances, this would be great, this would be a win. But of course, their Black Kyurem is running Dragon Tail. So as you can see here, I cannot make the free shock, so I have to settle for a Fusion Bolt. That just does not do enough damage, and I would get farmed down there. So GG's to that opponent. That's really sucks, because that's a loss in a set of 5 that I really need to win. This next battle does not start off great. We lead Zamazenta into Ho-Oh, and I send in Lunala. Interestingly though, they stay in with their Ho-Oh and go for the Brave Bird. Now, I do have to shield that, but then they send in the Lunala. Well, actually, it's a Dawn Wings. So I'm very caught off guard here, because 1, the clocks are misaligned, and 2, I can just get the shield back with Shadow Ball. CMP tie, and of course Dawn Wings wins because it has a slightly higher attack stat than Lunala. I try and farm them down with Black Kyurem. They can make a move here, but this is okay because I can still farm them down. They send in Palkia, and I make the decision to go for the Fusion Bolt and actually shield it, which is amazing because now I can make it to this free shock, and this will basically one-hit KO them. It does actually one-hit KO them, and I throw an alignment here, but I'm barely able to make this Fusion Bolt, which will almost KO the Ho-Oh. But I'm at full health this Zamazenta, so this Sacrifier will not KO, and the Ice Fang goes through. So there's a win. So 1 win, 1 loss in this set. Now, because of that unfortunate loss in match 1 of this set of 5, the only way we can really guarantee to hit legend is to win the next 3 battles in a row. If we lose 1 and win 2, that's okay, but we really need to win the next few. So this battle started with a good lead with Zamazenta into non-Shadow Hyperia, and they safe swapped into their Lunala. So my good response is to go in my Black Kyurem because the Shadow Claws do a lot of damage. If I went in with my own Lunala, 1, I'd be down energy, and 2, their Shadow Claws do a ton of damage to me, whereas with Black Kyurem, their Shadow Claws don't do a ton. They send back in their Zamazenta. I can go for free shock and get a shield. I can send in my own Zamazenta and just basically tank any move they throw there. They have Urshifu Rapid Strike in the back, but I can actually, sorry, I was going to say I could survive that. I actually can't. But because I have Lunala, this game is basically over. Because it doesn't matter what they throw, Aqua Jet doesn't do a ton of damage. I can just farm up here, and I can actually go for a Shadow Ball because this will KO from this range. Because Urshifu is not very tanky. They let it go. They send in Rhyperior, but I still have another shield to hide behind. So I can go for a Shadow Ball, get the first shield. They can throw whatever move it is. I can shield. If it's a Breaking Swipe, that's okay. If it gets a debuff, that's okay because I can just switch out and reset the debuff anyway. They do not get the debuff, so I'm able to go for a Shadow Ball here and KO that Rhyperior. So GG's to that opponent. So that leaves us with 2 wins and 1 loss, meaning if we win the next 2, we're going to hit Legend. Let's see what we can do. Alright, leading into battle number 4 of 5, we lead Zamazenta to Palkia. This is a very good lead because we can farm up 15 Ice Fangs, I'm pretty sure 15 or 16, I think it's 15. And if we throw the close combat there, it's guaranteed to KO the Palkia, but they're probably going to shield it. But this Palkia doesn't. And they end up backing out, which means we've successfully got a positive set. It doesn't mean we're legend, but that means we're one win away from Legend League. Alright, here we are on our final battle of the set. If we win, we hit Legend. We lead Zamazenta into Palkia, same lead as last game, so this is great. We can farm up 15 Ice Fangs, and basically this close combat will KO them if they no shield. If they shield, which they do, I can throw another Ice Fang, obviously, and just no shield, because this Aqua Tail will not KO. Go for the close combat here, and if they CMP tie, which they did here, I can shield, and this close combat will go through. This will either guarantee a shield or guaranteed switch advantage. They shield, and I just pivot into Lunala straight away. Lunala's such a monster in the neutral matchups that getting it up energy and up a shield like this is just amazing. Now here I kind of made a misplay, let the Palkia get another move, but I can just use my shield, farm down, save the energy, and in the back they have a Primarina, and they send in this Primarina. I was like, oh god, they're going to be able to farm down my Black Huron with Charm, and I can't send in Zamazenta because they could just go for a Hydro Cannon, but luckily I'm actually able to farm them down, and in the back is Kyogre, the one Pokemon that I can easily 2-hit KO with Fusion Bolt. I say that, but a lot of Pokemon get 2-hit KO with Fusion Bolt. Anyway, GG's to that opponent. But with that, I was able to hit Legend League for the first time ever in Pokemon Go. I still can't believe I was able to do it, but I did it. I made it to Legend League.